Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the tradingsyndicate.org. I'm JJ. Welcome to the folks on YouTube, and thanks for joining us. Welcome to everybody in the room. How's everyone doing? Hey, Timo, Lonigan, Cisco, Trademaker, how are you? Okay, well, 2 more trading days until the weekend. Let's see what we're looking at here. We had some nice short covering yesterday. Oh, where you going, Timo? You going anywhere cool? Off anywhere interesting? Ah, Vegas, nice. Don't lose all your money. All right, folks, let's get to work. Overnight inventory was a little short, and we had a correction back up. Yesterday, at the end of the day, I said most probably we are going to trade in yesterday's range, back and forth, and we are in the upper end of yesterday's range. We are, if you take a look, that afternoon pullback low down here and here, that's where the overnight low is, and we have a poor low in the overnight. So we have buying competition underneath 6,400. Hey, John. And then on this liquidation that we just had, we found the bid right at 6,405. Okay, so that's where the buyers are right now. The sellers stop selling when we get there. Also, this market profile has a poor high and a poor low. Now, when a distribution has a poor high and a poor low, generally all that means is that it's a rotational market and we should trade the edges of it because the sellers and the buyers are the same people. Okay? They're just in there pushing inventory that they acquired yesterday back and forth and back and forth. Well, there's some not bad trading there, Cisco, right? As you can see, like you took that here, sorry, I'll put the 1 minute chart on in a second here, right? So it's not bad trading, right? In rotational markets, all they're doing is there's inventory from the previous day, and it's just going back and forth and back and forth. It's really nice to, we get a liquidation and then you get some nice rotations. We can just trade those. So for those of you who are looking for a breakout this way or this way, well, don't expect that tonight. Unless there's some strange, weird news event, okay? We're just going to go back and forth in yesterday's range. And then in RTH, when regular trading on the market opens, what we're looking for is, do we get any change? Or do we just, longer term, we still have that trapped inventory, right? We had a hell of a rebound yesterday off the 63.59, what is it, 60 area, right? So not all of that selling is completely done until we get back over 64.58, I would say. Okay. So in the meantime, I'd say back and forth like this, you know. So let's go take a look at, we're pushing up against that poor high right there. See, there's been a constant seller, and you can see it on the candle chart too. So you can see that sellers have been at our 64.19 level, and they've been there now for 5 hours, right? Now, Jiraj, why would they be selling at that level? Let's see how awake you are, right? Why would there be a constant seller at 19? Your stops have to be as wide as the market allows, John. So if it's more volatile, you have to use a wider stop. If I was doing the look below and fail of 64.14 and a quarter, the one that just happened. So John, if I was taking this trade, I would be long probably 15, right? This is a look below and fail here, so I'm long probably 15. My stop's going to be under the bottom of that candle. Okay? And you have to adapt your stops to the business conditions that are present. Let's see. So that seller's still there. Jiraj, what's going on, man? Why would the seller still be there? You don't want to answer? No? Yes? Okay, well the sellers are going to be there for a specific reason, right? Why would you be selling at 64.19? Come on, guys. Let's wake up. Wake up, wake up. No one? There you go, Lonigan. Thank you. They've sold there before, right? They will sell again, right? If you're a seller of size and you sold at a certain level before, you're going to be there again. Hey, AO, if you're just joining us, AO, yes, I saw the recovery yesterday, and I just spent the last 10 minutes talking about it, brother. A point and a half on a mini is not $1,000 risk, John. A point and a half on a mini is 75 bucks. Where'd you get 15 contracts from? No, I said buy 64.15. The price level, man. Right? So you're buying 15, your stop is here. No problem. It's okay. Right? Right? So yeah, yeah, I know. So 64.15 is the entry, and I was saying because it's a look below and fail of 14 and a quarter. Most probably you're going to be buying for 15, right? Yeah, both of you guys are in Hawaii, Cisco and John. So yeah, and you put your stop down there, right? And then sell into that strength. Sell into that strength, right? Now the overnight POC has moved up again. It was 64.11 and three quarters, now up to 17. Good distribution, right? So the people who stop selling down here are the people who initiate selling here. So they're working both sides of what we call this range, right? So if you're a big trader, right? So the range is 64.01 to 19, somewhere at 64.08, 64.09, right? You'll accumulate here, you'll distribute here. Need to focus? Listen, man, if you're tired, don't worry about it. You know, don't ever trade tired. Don't ever trade sick. For God's sakes, don't ever trade angry. And really, don't ever trade drunk. I remember when we first started the trading room, you get all kinds of people coming in, right? There was a couple of guys, there were a couple of people. There was a lady who was a trader. She was a nice lady that I she was, but she would like by the morning open, I think she was in the UK. She'd be just sauced and taking trades. It was hilarious. Not recommended for your P&L, but yeah, don't ever trade drunk. There's only one guy I know who could do it successfully, and he used to own the brokerage firm, so he would stuff losses in somebody else's account. Okay, what are we doing now? What's next? See, this is a distribution, right? This is a rotation, right? It's a distribution rotation, or a distribution balance. Yeah, we're waiting for the next trade. Aren't you in the UK? Oh, we have two AOs. Yeah, gosh. Why is it every time I get on, the market just slows to a crawl? Just like, how is London this morning, AO? Where's Raj? Speaking of London. Oh, there you are. Cloudy with a chance of taxes? Yeah. Look how these candles are just upsetting me now. Right? Look how slow it is. The smaller the candle, the tighter the groupings of the candles like that. That means no one's coming into the store. You know, I've never been down to the Carolinas. Yeah, there's actually not much of an alley. It's kind of an empty alley, Alexander. I think the algos went for a smoke break. John 15 lot. There you go. Ah, yeah, I've never visited the South, like New Orleans and Carolinas and oh boy, distribution is so slow. There's a lot of short covering yesterday that came in underneath 63.88. I'm curious about that level today and when the market opens. Are we going to be able to hold that 63.88 level? No, Alex. Yeah, it's a good question. Have enough people requested a New York PM session? No. I get one and then they disappear. So I've never had more than one person ask for it. I don't mind doing one. It's like 9 o'clock my time. Yeah, let me know, folks. I think everybody's just like really into their summer, right now. Try to squeeze out the last few lazy days of August before it all comes to a crashing halt in September, hits us in the face like a frying pan. So we ran out of buyers at 17, had to put it on sale at 15. This might, we don't have enough buying to raise price over 19. It's really not much going on right now. Anybody have any questions? Anybody? Want to take a look at a stock? Anything while we're waiting? We have 8 minutes here of dead price action. Bitcoin. Sure. Take a quick look at the coin of bitterness. Sure. I'm watching this 113 level, Mike. What's the big difference? Oh, good God. Well, there's huge differences in Bitcoin and ES. I don't trade Bitcoin. I just buy it and stick it away. My last buy on Bitcoin, because I haven't touched it for a while, was when we did this. I was trying to buy 72,000. I wanted to buy 72, and it just never got down there. My last buy of Bitcoin was right here when it came back up over this 70, where, no, that's the wrong level. Where is it? 76,000 was my last Bitcoin long, right? Yeah, I just buy a little bit and stick it away, and it's not a big position. It's a small position, right? And it's the same with this Ethereum stuff. I got to clean up this chart. So right now I'm looking for, the only reason I haven't is because the levels are working. I'm looking to see if this look below and fail of this 113 level, if it sticks, right? Yeah, the level slope. You know why? The honest reason why is because I did these levels before I learned how to draw a straight level on TradingView. That's so if you look at my ether chart, see it's like it's normal, right? So there's my Ethereum chart. And I bought some, the last time I bought some was down in here in this 2400 to 2800 balance. I find this stuff quite fascinating, especially Ethereum, on how you can only take so many coins, and it's got an issuance cap, and I don't know. I'm still learning. What I'm really fascinated about is tokenization of securities. You couldn't get a winning trade in Bitcoin, John? Yeah, I really don't think you should be trading it. Just buy a little bit and put it away. Right? Bitcoin's got only, it's buying Bitcoin is buying like buying a low float stock. Oh, ES. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I've been there, my friend. Yes, exactly. See, I didn't take Bitcoin seriously until they cleaned up the clearing and settlement. Once they cleaned up the settlement, especially the custody issues, right? After FTX, I was like, no way, I'm not putting my money in that thing. It's a time bomb. But we had Hunter Horsley, the CEO of Bitwise, on our podcast before Christmas last year. And that's when their ETF went live. They figured out the settlement. They figured out the counterparty risk. And I was like, okay. I'm in. Good gosh, the CS market. 3 minutes still till London opens. And London better have some news here. Raj, didn't you say it's a holiday here on Monday? Okay. Oh, FOMC. Oh, we have some PMI today, don't we? Do we have? Oh no, jobless claims. Jobless claims. Some type of news. Any trading movie recommendations? Yes. Boiler Room's actually not that great a movie, Luke. If you want a really good movie, if you want to learn how the market actually works, there's a movie from 1964 called The Wheeler Dealers. It is almost like a how-to book on how to run a stock. And it stars one of my favorite actors, James Garner, from the Rockford Files. It's a great movie. It shows you how you actually make the cake. Yeah, it's a great movie. It's an old movie, and Trading Places tells you what it actually educates you exactly what the people who own brokerage firms are like. See you, Jerry. I'll check in with you later. Okay, 1 minute to London. Let's see if London actually does anything here. Come on, London. Bring some customers in the door. Right? If we were clerks in a Walmart now, we'd be falling asleep. I haven't seen that one, Raj. The seller at 16, they stopped selling at around 15 and a half. There's really not much going on. It's getting slower and slower as we go on. Yeah, I'm not going to be doing much work on ES right now, Luke. If London opens and this thing doesn't do anything and no one's asking questions, right? We'll shut her down a little early. Should you buy 500 ES contracts? Sure, go ahead. Move the tape, AO. Get in there and make it work. Exactly, right? There's, of course, Mike encouraging him. All right, London's opening. Can we take out yesterday's close with the London Open? There you go. There we go. Now, if we can't take out that J low right here, you'll get rotation back up, and there might be a trade. So if I do a traditional market profile trade and I start buying the 13, 13 and a quarter area, and I use 12, 11 and 3/4 as an out, right? So I buy a little bit here. My stop is here, okay? And then I'm going to put a contract for sale at 14 and a quarter. So say I buy 3 micros here, right? Now, I'm not using this chart. I'm using this as an old time market profile trade, right? Now, if it takes out that J low, right, that's where my stops are, right? If it finds a bid there, it should rotate up. That's how we used to trade in the old days when we used to ride horses to work, right? It's not an A plus setup. The better setup would be to let it do this, go under 11 and a half and come back up. So I'm long 13, 17 on 3, offered at 14 and a quarter, not getting taken at 14 and a quarter. So when I didn't get taken at 14 and a quarter, I sold one at 14 instantly, like reflex, okay? Because I know there's a seller there. You got to get in there and compete. So that's telling me, right? Now you're watching those candles, right? That's not an A plus setup. The reason I took the trade is to show you guys how you should be thinking while you're in a trade, right? So I'm long 13, 17 on 3 micros. I had a 14 and a quarter offer, and I couldn't get filled at a quarter. As soon as it traded at quarter and didn't fill me, I was like, you know what? I'm hitting you in the face at 14. I'm hitting the bid, right? See, the offer is trying to lift, but nobody wants to buy it, and then they push it back down. That gives you information you can use, right? There we go. There we get a print, right? Now I got rid of one at 14, and I'm going to put my next one out. See, I should have had a 14 and a half in. Anyway, I'm flat now, right? And that's how you take a market profile trade. So you're long against this stop, right? Because if this structure breaks, the business reason for going long does not exist. Jesus Christ, John, going to NQ is like lighting yourself on fire and starting to smoke a cigar. It's not vindictive. You just aren't in the rhythm. That's all. You're trying to dance with a girl and you're stepping on her feet and you're blaming her. You're just out of rhythm. It's okay, we'll get you back into rhythm. But you should not be trading the NQ, John. That is the last thing that you should be doing. You might as well just send me the money. Right? If it is slow in a market, you need to spend some time watching that market and learning. Right? Don't switch to another market. Usually London is better, Matteo. It's better, right? Now I'm saying there are people who trade NQ and they do it okay, but boy, they've lost a lot of money trying to figure it out. It's a thin market, right? You know, earlier this morning we had 20 aside on the bid ask on the ladder. Right now we've got 50 to 60 aside, right? Let's go take a look at NQ. Yeah. So the ES is on the micro is like 50s and 60s. On the mini, it's like 20s and 30s and 40s. On the Nasdaq, it's ones and twos. Some places the order book is blank, right? There's nothing in this. Somebody comes in and sells a 100 lot order on the NQ, right? It's just going to destroy you. That's why, John. So I'm not flying off the handle. I'm just trying to be logical, right? I'm trying to teach you good business. Sometimes business is slow. You're just going to have to get used to that. Cisco, I really am a big believer if you're not consistently profitable, three separate sell orders, yes. If you're not consistently profitable, you should not be looking at multiple markets. Now, maybe you are, I don't know. But I'm a big believer in learning how to trade one thing well. And that means being able to understand when business is slow and not lose your mind like a dog that's stuck in a house and starts eating the furniture, right? You have to be able to be at peace of when it's slow, wait for a trade, take the trade, and if you miss the trade, you've got to be okay with that, right? That's just life. That's business, right? That's why I'm so adamant that people have, because once you start losing that discipline, you're going to let other things creep in. Oh, maybe I'll use a bigger stop. Oh, maybe I won't use a stop. Oh, maybe I'll do this. Oh, maybe I'll just try this trade. Next thing you know, you're back in that degenerate, losing money, no discipline, right? You're not taking trades for good business reasons, right? It's a slippery slope, right? Maintaining discipline in this business is one of the hardest things that retail people have to endure. I'm not a disciplined person by nature. I have to work on it and I have to force it, right? I'm forced to be disciplined, right? It's the only way I've had any sort of just tiny bit of success in this is through discipline, you know. And I know it's frustrating. You're trying this, you're trying that, you're trying this, you're trying that, you're getting stopped out. It's it makes you question your sanity, this business. The only way to sort of get through it is through process. And if you keep changing the process, you'll never get ahead, unfortunately. And the NQ is, it's a brilliant market um, to suck people in, right? It's a brilliant way to get people sucked into a market. It's quite brilliant, actually. Have you traded the 30s opening range? I'm sorry. I don't understand the question, Alex. Have you traded the 30s? Oh, 32nd. I tried a 30-second chart once. Uh, because I was trying to find the perfect time frame to teach people. And I tried 30 seconds. It was a little too fast. It's a good observation, John. Good observation. Keep it to an observation. You don't have to take action on it. Nothing wrong with observing. No, I haven't traded a 30-second chart in a long time. I did look at it, and I find, once you find something that works, Alex, don't change it, right? I've spent a good 10 years of my life trying to figure out how to trade retail and to do it in a simple manner. Hey, Ed, what's going on? Right? And every time I talk to people about it, they always try and change it. Change this, change that, change this, but they're not making money doing what they're doing, so I don't know why they're trying to change it, right? Learn it because it's so simple, right? Sometimes, yeah, are you going to get stopped out a lot? Yeah, right? Um, if you pick up a violin, you're not going to be able to play it like Heifetz, right? It's going to sound like you're torturing a small animal when you first pick up a violin, right? Or any musical instrument, unless you're naturally gifted, and that's very rare. That frustration is what gets people because the frustration of getting stopped out and having things not work when you're used to things working and you're used to things being logical, and especially for people who are smart, right? Retail trading is a lot harder for people who are intelligent because they hate being wrong, right? You know, it's a nice liquidation, right? Let's see, we took that J low again. So if we break 12, is VWAP in the same place? Let's just go see. But what happens is, as soon as you break discipline, the market gods have you at their whim. How do you combat being wrong? Well, you see, I never had a problem with being wrong. My mother was really, really smart. And because I didn't go to medical school, I was considered to be an idiot. So South Asian families, they don't sort of pamper you, right? They just call you an idiot. So you get used to being wrong. And then I was married for 17 years. So being wrong is just sort of like a way to live. Like you're wrong. Okay, right? It's no big deal, right? You know, here we go. Let's see if we can get under VWAP, right? It's just so much easier. And there's actually there's a certain liberation. It's very liberating to admit that you're wrong. It's like it eases, it's like a pressure cooker when you're in a situation. And as soon as you admit you're wrong, right? It's like you release the steam, you release that pressure, and then you can see things. Give it a shot, you know? That's why you'll never hear me talk. There's all these sort of people who they talk about delta divergence and confluence and delta flatulence and all this BS, but they really don't know what the hell they're talking about. They can't explain it in a business sense. So I don't even bother, right? Delta flatulence should be a thing, Mike. Right? Just admit you're wrong. It's a lot easier. Right now, I'm looking for a bid. All these guys, gamma, delta, flatulence, phi, beta, kappa, this, that. Oh, dear God, where the hell is the bid? Where do I put my buy order? Where do I put my stop and why? Where should I sell and why? Right? How much more simple could it be? So if you focus on that, then you can just focus on execution. Because execution is going to drive you nuts, right? So let's make the analysis as simple as possible. So when you're out there in a street fight, you're not trying to figure out Pythagorean theorem when you're getting kicked in the face, right? Train yourself. Train yourself not to get sucked in, right? Train yourself to have a method so you don't fall for every fly by night, you know, crazy ass idea that enters your head, right? If you're short, stay short. You're looking for sevens, 8 3/4 7. Right? We're under VWAP now, which is good, right? Nice two-sided trading today, right? In my transition to retail trading, I was at first always short biased because I was always a seller. So I didn't realize until I tore this retail market apart and figured out how it was built, I was shorting everything and not making any money because the market is not built for short sellers, right? It's not built at all for short sellers. It's built to get people long and have them hold investments, right? So it took me a long time to figure out that supply in this market shuts off like a switch, right? Because I was always selling millions of shares of stock. So I always anticipated shorts to be great. But in this market, shorting has to be timed really well. And you have to really find your sellers, right? Now, I am a little bit, I'll admit today, my discipline isn't that great. So I'm missing some obvious trades, right? Let's see if we can get back above 11 and a half and we'll do another rotation, right? We came down to this area here, right? So we've got 2 hours of inventory above us here, right? So that's all, right? And hey, look, this, does that look familiar to this? It's just on a different time frame, folks. Check it out, okay? You have trapped inventory selling off, right? This is on a 1 minute. This is on a daily. Do you notice that it is exactly the same? Because the business never changes. Yeah, I was married for 17 years, John, and I was wrong a lot. Just get used to it. It's freeing. The beautiful thing about this business is you get rewarded for being long. Wrong, not long, so then, right? How do you get rewarded for being wrong? Because if you admit you're wrong quick, they take less money from you. When you're stubborn and when you're wrong, oh, man, you go through the spanking machine. Blown accounts, right? That's being stubborn. And being stubborn is a really bad business habit. Right? I am a firm believer in the intelligent use of trading psychology. I think trading psychology is useless if it's done after you blow up your account, right? And I've talked to a trading psychologist about this, and she didn't agree with me. And as much as I love her, I think she's wrong. I think that it's better to teach people how not to blow up their money instead of having them blow up their money and then learn how to do business. Because if you took that business method and applied it in an actual place of business, everyone would be going bankrupt before they made any money. Think about it. You have to think about things in a rational, practical way, right? So if everybody in business decided, oh, I'm going to blow up my business before I can make it profitable, I don't know about that, right? And there is no amount of trading psychology that can make up for the fact that you don't know what the hell you're doing. So that's why you should come to the trading syndicate and actually learn what the heck to do. We'll teach you, right? If I want to be a heart surgeon and I don't have any knowledge and I kill somebody, there's no amount of psychology that's going to help me with that. There could be a rotation higher. We're waiting for it, right? I was trying to do heart surgery and I killed the patient. Well, have you taken basic human anatomy? No, that's why I was cutting into his head and he died. Just think how ridiculous that sounds, right? Just drink more. Nice. Petra, what's going on? How you doing? We still haven't done our one-on-one. You need to reach out whenever you're not working. I am here. So I think we're just going to sit down here and collect contracts and see who comes into the store, who comes into Walmart next year. Let's see. Ah, right. And now I know I'm going to get heck from all the trading psychology, but there's no reason to have trading psychology after you've blown up your account. I think everyone just seems to have money growing on a tree. I'd like to know where the money tree is. Yesterday's volume was low? Interesting. Yeah, we're kind of consolidating here, folks. Yeah, we want you to. It's called credit. Yeah, I guess, eh? Well, time to go grab a coffee, get some exercise. Thank you all for joining me. Come join us at the Trading Syndicate. Spend some time with us. I promise you. Now, if you join the room, right, use that code, right, join it for a month, but reach out to me and have a chat, right? I'm always around, right? Have a chat. And let's see how we can improve your trading. All right, folks. Have a good morning, and we will see you at 9 a.m. Eastern Time for our next session. Thanks, Alexander. And we will see you at 9 a.m. Have a great morning. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.